February 21, 2006. A yellow Ferrari 360 Modena tears through the New Kent Road at well over the speed limit. Behind the wheel, Lee Murray, 25 years old, professional cage fighter, known to the MMA world as Lightning. He has a fight record that puts most men on the canvas in under a minute. He also has tonight something far more dangerous than fists, a plan. Then the car leaves the road. Metal meets tarmac. Murray is out and running before the wreckage stops spinning. He cannot call the police, he cannot stay, because in the crumpled interior of that Ferrari, he has left something behind. 2 burner phones, on one of them, a conversation recorded by accident. The voices of men who are about to commit the largest cash robbery in British history. £52,996,760 taken in 66 minutes from a vault that was supposed to be impenetrable. So who were these men, and how close did they come to getting away with all of it? Chapter 1. The Inside Man. December 2005. A young Albanian man named Emir Hisanaj signs his employment paperwork at a Securitas cash depot in Tonbridge, Kent. His job title, cash counter. His real purpose, something else entirely. The Securitas depot is not a place most people think about. It sits unremarkably on the outskirts of Tonbridge, a squat industrial building ringed by fencing, cameras, and reinforced doors. But inside those walls moves the quiet machinery of the British economy. Used notes from ATMs across the south of England arrive here nightly to be sorted, counted, and prepared for redistribution. On any given shift, the vault holds more cash than most countries will ever see in a single room. On the night in question, it holds over £200 million. The facility runs 24 hours across 3 rotating shifts, 80 full-time employees, CCTV on every corridor. The manager, Colin Dixon, is a veteran of the industry, a man who varies his route to work, practices defensive driving, and keeps the details of his professional life separate from his home in Herne Bay. He has done everything right. He has not accounted for the man now counting cash 3 meters from the vault door. By January 2006, Hisanaj is ready. On January 16th, he walks his usual route through the depot wearing a belt buckle that is not quite a belt buckle. Stitched into the metal casing is a pinhole camera approximately the size of a 50-pence piece. He films the loading bays, the cage corridors, the exact path from the entrance gate to the vault. The footage will later give his accomplices something no external surveillance ever could, a blueprint drawn from the inside. But Hisanaj is not the only one preparing. Weeks earlier, Lee Murray and an associate had driven to a surveillance equipment shop in Derbyshire called iTech to purchase the spy camera. The shop owner had one specific warning: keep glue away from the lens. Murray's crew, who had managed to plan one of the most ambitious heists in British history, got glue on the lens. They had to return it for repairs. On the drive back from that same shop, Nottinghamshire police pulled them over for traveling at 115 miles per hour. A documented link now existed, on paper, between the gang's leadership and the camera that would map the Tonbridge vault. This is not the last time Lightning will be undone by his own velocity. The rest of the syndicate assembles quietly. Leah Rusha, a roofer and cage fighter, forged in the same London MMA gyms as Murray. Jetmir Bupapa, a bouncer with Albanian connections and aligned to Hisanaj. Roger Coutts, a garage owner who will handle the vehicles. Stuart Royal, sourcing logistics. And Michelle Hogg, a makeup artist with a talent for theatrical prosthetics. Her role is the one that perhaps no crime writer would think to invent. She is there to make sure none of them look like themselves. The question was never whether they could breach the walls. The walls were not the problem. The problem was the man with the keys, and Murray had already found a way around him. How do you force a trained security professional to walk you through every locked door in a high-security facility? You do not threaten him. You threaten his family. Chapter 2. The Tiger, 1828, February 21, 2006. Colin Dixon is 50 miles into his commute home on the A249. It has been a routine shift. The road is dark. Then, blue flashing lights in his rearview mirror. 2 men approach his window. Police uniforms. Official-looking badges. Purchased, it will later emerge, on eBay. They inform him of a speeding violation. He steps out of his car. Handcuffs are applied before he understands what is happening. A 9mm handgun appears. One of the men speaks with quiet, deliberate calm. This is a 9mm. Don't do anything silly. Dixon is placed into a Vauxhall Vectra and driven to a remote farm. He is interrogated about the depot's security protocols, the shift rotation, the timing of the vault cycles. He does not yet know what has happened 50 miles away in Herne Bay. At roughly 20:40, 2 men in police uniforms knock on the door of Dixon's home. They tell his wife, Lynn, that her husband has been in an accident. She opens the door. Her young child is with her. Both are escorted at gunpoint into a waiting Volvo S60. This is the tiger kidnapping. Criminologists use the term deliberately, like a tiger circling its prey for weeks before striking. The gang had studied Dixon's movements for months. His route, his hours, his home address. The vulnerability they identified was not a gap in the security perimeter. It was a marriage, a child. The fact that no amount of professional training outweighs a gun held to your family. By 2145, Colin Dixon sits in a farm building and watches his wife and child walk through the door. Proof of life. The emotional mechanism that completes the trap. From this point forward, he will do whatever they ask. Michelle Hogg has spent the preceding days preparing the gang's faces, latex prosthetics, theatrical foundation. In at least one documented instance, she used bra straps to pull back a gang member's skin and alter the shape of his eyes. The figures who will walk into the Securitas depot will not match any face in any database. They will be new people, temporary ones. Just after 1 o'clock on February 22nd, a 3-vehicle convoy departs for Tonbridge, a Renault Midland lorry, 7.5 tons capacity, a red LDV van branded with Parcel Force livery, and Colin Dixon sitting in the back of a car, about to use his own authority to open the vault. Who would suspect the manager? And what happens when 14 employees realize that the man walking in with a police officer at 1 in the morning is their boss? Chapter 3, 66 minutes, 1:28. The convoy arrives at the Securitas depot. The perimeter cameras record nothing unusual. The gate opens. Dixon leads a man dressed as a police officer through the entrance. His credentials are not questioned. He is the manager. Inside, staff are woken, gathered, and controlled. 14 employees in total. Not one shot is fired. The gang moves with the discipline of men who have spent years in training environments where aggression is a calibrated instrument. On the control room wall, a standard Securitas poster reads, "Don't be a hero." The gang finds it useful. They point to it. The staff comply. The vault opens, and the problem immediately becomes a logistical one. The robbers had brought a Lansing Lendy powerlifter and metal shopping trolleys to move the cash. Each brick of 20-pound notes weighs approximately 1 kilogram. 53 million pounds in mixed denominations is not a bag you carry. It is a problem of physics. The gang forces a Securitas employee to operate the powerlifter. He complies. Then, deliberately, he wedges the machine between the lorry's tail lift and the loading bay floor. The powerlifter is immobilized. The gang pivots to a manual pallet mover and loses critical minutes. This is the part that sounds like fiction, and yet there it is on camera. A man, unarmed, locked in a cage, finding the only active resistance available to him and taking it. Despite the delay, the loading continues. Brick by brick, denomination by denomination. 5 pounds bricks wrapped in green, 10 pounds in blue, 20 pounds in red, 50 pounds in yellow. The Renault Midland's hold fills. The gang does not yet know they are approaching the vehicle's weight limit. They are simply taking everything they can reach. At some point in those 66 minutes, a decision is made. Stop. The lorry is at capacity. To take more would compromise speed on the getaway. The crew seals the loading bay doors on 52,996,760 pounds in sterling and leaves behind, untouched on the vault shelves, an additional 153,833,020 pounds. The hostages, including the Dixon family, are locked into metal cash storage cages known as super SIDs. Before leaving, at least one gang member tells the staff they will be fine. Then, they are gone. At 3:14, Colin Dixon forces open the cage with his son's help and activates the alarm. The largest cash robbery in British history is over. The investigation has not yet begun, and one question now dominates every briefing room in Kent. Where does a lorry carrying 53 million pounds go in the dark? Chapter 4. The Unraveling. Within 48 hours, it begins to fall apart. A white transit van is discovered in the car park of the Ashford International Hotel. Inside, 1.4 million pounds in sterling, a machine gun, and a black balaclava. The balaclava carries DNA. The DNA belongs to Leah Rusha. In a single forensic swab, the gang's anonymity is broken. Kent police name their investigation Operation Mivas. At its peak, it becomes one of the largest criminal investigations in British history, involving over 500 officers and reaching across 3 continents. Forensic teams recover prosthetic makeup materials from a wheelie bin in Plumstead. Burn phones surface in the wreckage of Lee Murray's crashed Ferrari. Covert reconnaissance footage is found at a Southborough address, linked back to Russia. At Elderden Farm, 30,000 pounds in cash wrappers bearing the distinctive color-coded Securitas banding turns up in circumstances that will later complicate the trial of a man named John Fowler, who is eventually cleared. But the decisive blow comes not from a laboratory. It comes from a woman who decides she does not want to go to prison for other people's decisions. Michelle Hogg is arrested. She is facing serious conspiracy charges. Then, in one of the more dramatic turns of the entire case, she becomes a Crown witness. Her testimony identifies the core members of the gang by name, linking the disguised figures on the CCTV footage to the real people she spent days making unrecognizable. Every latex mask, every skin-stretching modification, every prosthetic she applied becomes, in her testimony, a thread connecting the men on screen to their actual identities. In exchange for her cooperation, the charges against Hogg are dropped. She is placed in a witness protection program and given a new identity. Investigators later confirm that there is a significant price on her head. If you have ever watched a group project fall apart the moment one person decides the shared risk is no longer worth it, you understand the mechanics of what Hogg's testimony did to the syndicate's carefully managed silence. By the time the case reaches the Old Bailey in 2008, the core of the gang is accounted for. Leah Rocha and Jetmir Bupapa receive life sentences, Roger Kautz, life. Emir Heisenaj, 20 years for the inside job that made everything possible. The convictions are unambiguous, the sentences are severe. But one man is not in the courtroom. He has been gone since the summer of 2006, and where he ends up is unlike anything the investigators had anticipated. Chapter 5. The Moroccan Cage. Lee Murray and Paul Allen flee through Dover, then Amsterdam, then Spain, and finally arrive in Rabat, Morocco. Murray's father is Moroccan. He believes correctly that Morocco's extradition relationship with the United Kingdom is complicated enough to make him unreachable. He settles into a villa. He reportedly commissions a mural of himself celebrating a UFC victory to be painted on the wall. He spends freely on jewelry and, by some accounts, plastic surgery. For several months, Lightning lives as if he has won. His downfall arrives in a shopping mall, June 2006. Murray and Allen become involved in a physical altercation at the Rabat megamall, reportedly following a dispute with a chauffeur and a confrontation with mall security. Both are arrested. Morocco refuses the UK's extradition request. What follows is a legal mechanism that has rarely been used before. Murray is tried in a Moroccan court for a crime committed in Britain. He is initially sentenced to 10 years. He appeals. The court responds by increasing the sentence to 25 years. He is transferred to Tiflis, a prison facility outside Rabat, where, by multiple accounts, he spends significant stretches in solitary confinement. By 2025, Murray has been in Moroccan custody for nearly 2 decades. His daughter, Lily Lamrani Murray, has appealed publicly to the Moroccan king and to the UK Prime Minister, citing deteriorating health and arguing that her father has now served longer than many people convicted of murder in Britain. Organizations, including Detained in Dubai, have characterized the prosecution as an outsourcing of justice that bypassed standard judicial safeguards, raising questions about whether trying a defendant for a foreign crime in a foreign court without standard procedural protections can be called justice at all. These are not comfortable questions. They are not meant to be. Murray organized the kidnapping of a woman and her child. He pointed a firearm at a man in the dark. The moral weight of his actions is not in dispute, but the legal architecture of his imprisonment, the mechanism by which he is held, remains contested in ways that British courts have never formally adjudicated. Paul Allen, extradited and sentenced to 18 years, was eventually released on parole. By 2019, he had been shot and left critically injured, reportedly by rivals. In 2023, a plot to murder him was uncovered. The money that was never found appears to have made its own gravity, pulling violence toward everyone connected to it, which raises the final question: where is it? Chapter 6. The Ghost Millions. £32 million, roughly 60% of what was stolen, never recovered, not a single note. The investigation's focus, years after the convictions, drifts steadily toward a small strip of land in the eastern Mediterranean, Northern Cyprus, recognized internationally only by Turkey, no extradition treaty with the United Kingdom, a coastline full of English-speaking bars, casinos, and quiet coastal villages where a man with cash and a reason to disappear can, by multiple accounts, do exactly that. In December 2006, a builder from Whitstable named Sean Lupton disappears while on bail awaiting trial. His wife, Therese, initially believes he has been killed in a dispute over the stolen money. She tells journalists she thinks he is dead. Kent police believe otherwise. Credible intelligence places Lupton in the mountain village of Katalkoy on the northern coast of Cyprus. He has reportedly been seen in local bars and casinos, by multiple accounts, spending freely. Local authorities in northern Cyprus make what is described as an unprecedented assurance. If Lupton is found within their territory, they will deport him. No formal extradition process would be required. He has not been found. Whether the £32 million is buried in cash, distributed across real estate, absorbed into the operations of the criminal networks that reportedly sheltered Lupton after he fled, or simply spent one layer of hundreds across years of untraceable transactions, no investigator has yet been able to say with certainty. Kent Police's 2026 documentary, Solving Securitas, released to mark the 20th anniversary of the robbery, draws on original audio recordings made by the gang members themselves. It answers many questions. It does not answer this one. The Securitas robbery was not a failure of security infrastructure. The cameras worked, the protocols existed, the manager followed his training. None of it mattered, because the point of attack was never the building. It was a family sitting down to dinner 50 miles away, unaware they were already inside the plan. In the years since 2006, the UK security industry has rethought the entire concept of employee protection at the domestic level. Colin Dixon's ordeal changed the architecture of how institutions think about human vulnerability. But on the shelves of a Tonbridge vault, somewhere in a ledger that will never fully balance, there is still over £30 million that belongs to no one, owed by men who are either imprisoned, dead, or sitting in a village above the sea, watching the sun set over water they cannot cross. The 66 minutes are long over. The ghost is still there.